Friday marks Bishop Howard Hubbard's funeral. He died at 84 years old. He was bishop for 37 years, and he created an addiction treatment service called Hope House in 1967. He spoke on abortion in 1984 when Planned Parenthood on Lark Street started performing abortions. He also spoke about nuclear weapons in 1981.
I would hope that a year from now there would have been progress made in the arms negotiation talks that have been taking place in Geneva, and that there will have been created not only nationally but internationally as well an atmosphere wherein there is a demand on the part of governmental leaders in all of the nations that possess nuclear arms to make concrete, practical, and specific steps toward de-escalation.
He was also caught up in sex abuse scandals, adamantly denying accusations that he abused minors. He did acknowledge the church covered up allegations of abuse by priests to avoid scandal. When he turned 75 in 2014, he faced mandatory retirement. Kumi Tucker sat down with him one-on-one in 2013.
I think after 36 years, it's time for a breath of fresh air in the diocese. I've done the best I can.
Bishop Howard Hubbard's 50 years in the priesthood was celebrated last month at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Albany. When he turned 75 years old last month, he was required to submit his resignation to the Vatican. Bishop Hubbard is known for his dedication to working for society's weakest and most vulnerable. Here he is being ordained as the Bishop of Albany in 1977. At the time, he was the youngest Catholic bishop in the country. He reflected on his new role 1 year later.
The warmth and support and cooperation that I've received from our priests and religious and laity in the diocese has really made it an easy burden.
Now, looking back, he's proud that lay people have been given a greater voice in church life.
I'm also proud of the ecumenical and interfaith relationships that have been developed here in our Capital District community.
As a priest, he worked in Albany's inner city. He drove drug addicts to treatment, and seeing a need, he founded Hope House, a substance abuse treatment center. He also led the Albany Catholic Diocese during a dark time for the church.
Well, I certainly regret the terrible scandal of clergy sexual abuse. I mean, this has been the greatest crisis that the church has faced since the Reformation. I think that we were slow to recognize the problem. I don't think we always handled it well. And I certainly have seen firsthand from meeting with victims the terrible suffering that they endure and their families as well.
Would you have handled things differently?
I always took every complaint that I received seriously. But I would say that in the early stages, I didn't realize the lifelong trauma that a victim experiences if there is not some type of therapeutic intervention. So that was a learning process for me.
Bishop Hubbard says he thinks the role of women needs to be advanced in the church.
We have women parish life directors who are running parishes. The question is, can women be ordained? And I think that the new Pope, Francis, is open to at least explore what further possibilities there are for women's leadership roles in the church.
Supporters say he is approachable, and he's chosen to live a far more modest life than many other bishops, without even a driver.
What's something that people might not know about you?
They probably don't know that I tend to have a heavy foot when I drive. So that's something that I've got to curb a little bit.
Many people have personal stories of how this bishop quietly helped them.
I would like my legacy to be that everyone felt welcome in the church, and that the hallmark of the church was one of compassion, understanding, and mercy. Our Holy Father, Pope Francis, has said that the church should be a field hospital for the wounded. And I think that's a wonderful image.
At the time of his death, Hubbard is listed on at least 7 pending lawsuits, and those cases live on, substituting an estate for Hubbard. Opening this breaking news edition of News Vault 13, I'm Rachel Teedy.